Canada's point of view, we have to keep our eye on the ball on what's important to Canada. We have a big trading relationship with the United States. We have to reset that now because the old trend toward deeper and deeper and deeper integration, both economically and from a security point of view, that era is over. And we have to find a new way of establishing the relationship, which will, by definition, include broader outreach to other countries around the world, exporting more of what we have to sell to more countries around the world, developing security and defense arrangements with more countries around the world so that we're not as dependent on one close neighbor as we have been.
All eyes were on the Oval Office of the White House when the new Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney went to visit yesterday. How would he get on with President Trump? Would he be humiliated in the way that Ukraine's President Zelensky was in the very same room? In the end, Mark Carney seemed to combine being friendly with the president while still sticking closely to his own line. Let's listen to the exchange about whether Canada would ever be the 51st state of the USA.
As you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
That's true.
We're sitting in one right now, Buckingham Palace that you visited as well.
That's true.
And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever.
That was Mark Carney there in the meeting with Donald Trump. Well, let's bring in Ralph Goodale, who is the Canadian High Commissioner to the UK. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, it was a good line, that, wasn't it?
Yes, it landed rather well, I think, and that would be a line that Mr. Carney would absolutely have to deliver. We're not for sale, not now, not ever, because that's the mandate he has from Canadians from the election.
So do you think that puts an end to the 51st state stuff then? Because reportedly, Mark Carney did ask Donald Trump in a private meeting to stop making those remarks. Do you know if the president agreed?
I don't. And quite frankly, that's up to him whether he will continue to throw that kind of kibitzing around. The fact of the matter is Canada's made its position very clear. We are not for sale, and the president came back to that point a couple of times in the conversation, and I think Mr. Carney registered the answer: never, 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 5 times. So the point is clear. Let's get on with resetting the relationship to have as valuable a relationship as we can on the economy and on security matters between Canada and the United States. And meanwhile, Canada has other important things to do, like building out our own economy, making it less vulnerable and more resilient in the face of this kind of foreign interference, and developing expanded security arrangements and economic arrangements with other countries, including the United Kingdom and the European Union.
Yeah, it can't be underestimated how important it was yesterday for that meeting to go well. You're right, for all of the reasons you've listed there. Did you get the impression that Donald Trump had almost had his wings clipped a little bit? I mean, he mentioned, at least once, I think, he referenced the previous meeting with Zelensky in the Oval Office. He said, well, people are watching for me to have another spat. This isn't another one of those little rows. He seemed to be quite aware of how badly that had gone down.
Well, what influences the president's political strategy, quite frankly, is beyond me, and I think beyond most observers and commentators, because there doesn't seem to be a clear line of logic to it. But of course, that is the president's established style, both in business and in politics. He catches people by surprise. He disrupts the status quo. And I gather his assumption is in the chaos that follows, he will be able to find an advantageous position. That's sort of the strategy that's laid out in his book, The Art of the Deal. But from Canada's point of view, we have to keep our eye on the ball on what's important to Canada. We have a big trading relationship with the United States. We have to reset that now because the old trend toward deeper and deeper and deeper integration, both economically and from a security point of view, that era is over. And we have to find a new way of establishing the relationship, which will, by definition, include broader outreach to other countries around the world, exporting more of what we have to sell to more countries around the world, developing security and defense arrangements with more countries around the world, so that we're not as dependent on one close neighbor as we have been. And meantime, internally, getting rid of internal trade barriers, improving our regulatory system, investing in science, technology, and engineering, tax changes to encourage productivity and growth.
And how, just on the specifics of the tariff negotiations, how close are you to agreeing a deal with the Americans that you are comfortable and happy with?
Oh, Mr. Carney was clear yesterday. And again, borrowing a bit of inspiration from Churchill, we can probably say now we are at the end of the beginning. The promised encounter immediately after the Canadian election has now taken place. They appear to have a work program going forward. Officials have things to discuss over the next number of weeks and months. And the president, the prime minister, will meet again at the G7 summit, which will take place in Canada, just outside of Calgary in the foothills, in the middle of June. So there's a work program going forward, and this relationship now seems to be on a more stable footing. Well, nothing has been determined yet. But we're at the end of the beginning.
Well, when you reach the end of the end, please do come back and talk to us about where you have got to. Ralph Goodale, many thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks very much.
That's the Canadian High Commissioner to the UK.
I thought Carney was also, he did flatter a bit. He did say he said to the president, you have shaken things up, you've made people more conscious about security. But he did hold the line on kind of, he seems to be quite a good example of Trump handling.
Yeah, it's apparently it's being called grey rocking, which is where it's a psychological technique recommended for people dealing with an abusive or narcissistic character, which involves becoming as uninteresting and as unengaged as possible.
I've been practicing that my whole life.